Hey, it's Astro D, where I love to make learning astrology real simple and easy. For relationships and synastry, that's also my specialty. I want to thank you for joining me on my Mercury retrograde video. What is a Mercury retrograde and what can we do? What the hell? What is going on? How to understand a Mercury retrograde in astrology. So breaking this down, right? A lot of times I get a lot of emails and I get a lot of messages like, D, oh my God, Mercury is going retrograde. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh my God. And I used to be like that when the Mercury went retrograde. I used to really trip out about it. Oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do, nah, man, nah. The key that got me real calm about Mercury retrogrades is the idea of understanding how to flow with energy and not go against it, right? Not to go against the tides, right? So we understand, and like I said, we know the water affects the ocean's tides. So the moon is going to affect you, just like all the other, celestial, the planets in the sky also will affect you as well. So Mercury rules how we think, how we communicate, and how we speak, right? How we go forward. And you look into your chart to understand where Mercury is in your chart. And if you have not liked, shared, or subscribed to this channel, make sure you do it, okay? Stay on top of what's going on my Instagram at AstroDee5 because I do long write-ups and I talk about this, so I give written horoscopes as well on my Instagram site. So anyway, let's get back to this. Mercury retrograde. So Mercury ruling the intellect, how we think, how we speak, the way communication is carried, the way communication is either emailed, faxed, all right, or just written in a letter and sent through the postal service. All right, so that's Mercury's job, to deliver information. What way can it deliver this information, right? So you have Mercury going retrograde. And what is retrograde? Retrograde represents all those words that start with re, right? Re. What could we think? Reorganize, reschedule, reconcile, remember, right? Reintroduce. All of these things are the things that you need to be focusing on in order to be aligned with this Mercury energy here. Right? If we stick with that, if we do that, we could really ride with it. We could really flow with it instead of being so frustrated by it and feeling stagnated by it. You can sit at home, and do a cleanse. Go back over the things that you've been putting in your body and how can we flush it out? How can we, reintroduce a better diet to oneself? That's on a simple level. Okay? And a lot of times this is about slowing down, paying attention to the details. And this is also like a retraining. Every 3 months when Mercury goes retrograde, because that's when it goes retrograde, every 3 months is when we go through this. And I always look at it as a rite of passage, a way of maturing. This is where you remember, okay, make sure you take your time. Make sure you are accurate. Make sure you're clear when you say something to somebody. Make sure that they've understood you. Like, you understood what I just said, right? You heard me though, right? Did it repeat back what I said, please? Because I just want to make sure that you understand me. This is the time when you need to do that a little bit more. Read the fine print. This is also the time where they do not recommend getting large prices, because when Mercury is in retrograde, and it's going to go retrograde this year in Pisces, all right, 2018, it's going to go in Pisces retrograde. So Mercury already doesn't like to be in Pisces. Mercury is not feeling that because it's not clear for Mercury. It's not clear energy for Mercury, and Mercury cannot deliver the energy in a tangible, right, in this world type of way. Pisces rules the outer world, the spiritual world, the things unseen, the things lost, not said. So Mercury is like, I need to say something, and I need everybody to see that I'm saying it. And in Pisces, it's metaphorical. It becomes, a display. It's transformed. These regular things I want to say. Now, this is also a beautiful imagination and mind. The mind goes to things of Pisces. The mind goes to the other world, right, during this time. So with the Mercury retrograding from Aries, you might feel like you were about to just go running. And then it's like, oh, no, back it up. Back it up just a teeny little bit. We need to go over some things. Some issues are going on that we need to make sure are right before Mercury goes forward. So Mercury going into Pisces, miscommunications. Mercury in Pisces, probably led to a lot of miscommunications with people, or just people having an inability to understand each other, right? Or if you understand someone, you understand them on a spiritual level, but you don't know what the hell is coming out their mouth. But it's like, but I feel you though. But I do feel you. It's that type of situation. So you have this planet going from real fast, straightforward, straight to the point, clear. All right, and then things get a little foggy here. Things go backwards and they get a little like, what's going on? So when Mercury goes into retrograde, make sure that you flow with it in a way where you can utilize it to the best of your ability. If you want to reorganize your home, right? The home, especially where Mercury is in your chart. Also pay attention to that. It's important to know your birth chart. You can Google so many birth chart calculators, that some of them interpret it. If you need me to interpret it, book a reading with me, do whatever you need to do. Come on the AstroDee5 Instagram page and rap with me. That's how we do. Okay, and we'll talk about this. Where is Mercury in your chart? Because it's going to go retrograde in that area. So that's the area where issues come up. Issues come up about involving communication and how we're going forward, and involving the house that it's in. And this is where you need to reconsider things. This is where, okay, you may meet somebody, let's say it's in your 5th house, and you meet somebody and you like them and you're like, oh my God, you are just like so beautiful. And, you hang out with them, you spend time with them. I bet you probably went fast because Mercury is in Aries. So you probably went real fast. And, you wake up one day when Mercury then went forward and you're like, oh my God, what did I do? What the hell was I thinking? I was in a lot, and especially it was in Pisces. It's hard to see things for what they actually are sometimes, or it's just that things change. Mercury, you want that planet when you're going forward, when you're starting a business, when you're starting a relationship, a real friendship. You want that planet, the planet of communication, to be going forward. You want it to be giving you the best results that it could possibly give you, and if it is asleep, because that's what happens when Mercury goes to sleep. When information, the processing of information clearly and directly is asleep, okay, that's where we're missing some information, and you got to kind of work for it. You got to hey, wake up. I'm just resting my eyes. No, you're not, Mercury. Wake up. No, I need to make sure that what she said was clear. Okay, because I'm getting pissed off and I shouldn't be getting so mad right now because I really don't know what the exact situation is. Okay, so wait for Mercury to go forward before, when you have mix-ups and clear-ups and stuff like that. Sometimes you'll have a mix-up during the Mercury retrograde and you'll think, oh, it's going forward now, so we're about to be... No, they cut you off. Because that's the ending of the situation. That was the result of the Mercury retrograde. This person had to reconsider if they even wanted to be your friend, and they did. They reconsidered it, and their conclusion was no. All right, and it's okay. It's okay, because maybe for you need to go over some things in the way that you're communicating. And this is what it is, right? So your Mercury's in Aries, you're communicating too sharp, too fast. You say something to the wrong person. Mercury's in retrograde now. You say something to the wrong person, or you was talking about somebody and sent them the email by accident, and you trying to talk about them but sent it to them, and you're like, oh shoot, I messed up. Now you're learning a lesson and going slower, reading over your email before you send it, and making sure that you double check who you're sending your emails to. All right, or something. Those situations where you talking junk on your phone, cursing somebody out, and you just left the job meeting conference call, and you forgot to turn off that conference call, and you just talking, I can't stand this job, I'm ready to get the hell out of this job. So, and the only reason why I'm a little nervous is because, now I'm doing more work in the media, because Mercury rules media. So I'm like, man, I'm doing these YouTube videos. But last Mercury retrograde was pretty good. I didn't say nothing too crazy on there. And hopefully everybody understood where I was coming from. Like I said, that's the key, to understand exactly where people are coming from with this Mercury. When Mercury goes backwards to when it goes forward. So you feel it. When are we going to feel it the most? On the 22nd of this month. So usually when Mercury begins to go forward, it starts like shaking up. It's getting ready. The engine's getting hot. All right. It's in shadow just before, a couple weeks before. So we deal with Mercury retrograde. It's 3 months but it feels like it's a little longer because of these shadow periods. Now, when Mercury is in its first part of the shadow, that's when things start kind of, you start seeing things acting up, and it begins to go retrograde. That is the day that you have your most misunderstandings. That's when the lesson is shown to you. Like, whoa, this is an issue. Okay, I've been sending, this message to the wrong person, or I've been, seeking and pursuing the wrong types of dates. All right, this is where we go back to the past. This is where the exes come back, right? That X comes back, and I say even more because it's in Pisces, and Pisces rules the past, things that were lost. So actually, people also might be coming up with a lot of stuff that they lost or that was stolen from them as well. Somebody stole something, or you really misplaced something, and you couldn't find it, or that could come up, right? Where situations like, oh my God, where is this? We lose a lot of things during Mercury retrograde period. But with this Mercury in Pisces, man, we're really going backwards here. We're really digging into the depths of our past, especially if it's in your fourth house, you're dealing with that. So we're dealing with what was going on back then. Maybe even past romances, because I remember what just happened with this Venus-Neptune trine that we had. Some people have some really beautiful romantic experiences. Maybe that will be looked at again. Then maybe you guys will take another glimpse of that. Maybe you'll find that it was even more romantic than you thought it was. Maybe this is a time where you say, man, I'm considering if I should marry this person. We had this beautiful, Pisces experience, and I want to try to do it again. And you realize, no, maybe not. Maybe they're a jerk. Maybe they were just trying to get in your pants that night, and it just happened, it was so beautiful because Venus was next to Neptune. So it was so beautiful. And then you find out, oh my God, this person could be a jerk. What do I do? When that's the whole back and forth with the Mercury retrograde. What do I do? What have I've stumbled upon this new situation, and I need to re-examine it in a way that will help me and help the person, and actually either help me move on or help me move in. You know what I mean? Help me dig in deeper. Because this also doesn't mean that it has to be a negative thing. We don't have to walk away from a Mercury retrograde feeling that we lost something or that we're not interested in anything anymore. Sometimes you can come back even further and appreciate it even more. Appreciate it. Appreciate, the things that we took for granted before. What did you take for granted that you didn't have? So this Mercury retrograde, I'd highly recommend everybody that you flow with it. And flow with it in a way that is going to help you be better by the end of it, to help you know more about yourself, to help you be more clever and more cunning with how you're communicating. Because this is where we're really challenged with our communication on what needs to develop within it. What needs to develop in the way we do. I like to write real fast and stuff. Time to slow down. Time to slow down, because it will come back to bite you. It comes back to bite you when you're not, on point with that. So Mercury retrogrades, do not be afraid, everybody. Do not be afraid. It doesn't have to be an awesome, awful, horrible thing. Sometimes nothing happens. You might feel you don't feel it at all. Mercury retrogrades. And sometimes you really do. I had somebody, I used to rent out, little rooms and stuff, and on a Mercury retrograde, and I was into astrology, because sometimes, man, I'm telling you, I just say, forget it. Fuck it. I don't care about nothing that it says, nothing in the sky. I'm doing what I want right now. As an astrologer, I still do that. Okay? I rebel. Whatever. I'm going to do me. And I was like, I'm going to sign this agreement with this woman, and she's going to move in during this Mercury retrograde. That stuff don't always apply. It's all right. That lady moved in and didn't pay rent. She brought roaches, okay? She brought all kind of stuff to my house, and I had to deal with it. And I knew. This is why we need to be conscious. This is where, learning through these videos and understanding these videos, this is where we learn our lessons and how to navigate through that. So I still knew it was a Mercury retrograde, so I was like, it's all right. It wasn't as surprising and devastating to me. How about that? How about that? So how do you understand a Mercury retrograde using within your own chart? First, you're going to look at what sign is Mercury going to be in. Mercury is going to be in Pisces. Then you understand, where is Pisces in your chart? What house is it in your chart? Of course, like I said, go to the calculators. You find out where Pisces is going to be in your chart, right? So Mercury is going to be, let's say, in your third house. So now you know that much. All right. And now it's about, okay, so how does my own Mercury interact? How does my own Mercury work? Because that a lot of times tells you how bad the retrograde is going to be for you. If you already got a jacked up Mercury, it's not gonna be no better. It's really gonna emphasize, like I said, where it challenges us to reconsider how we are communicating. What is our own style of communicating? So it's a personal experience. Some people could be experiencing more, and you know, if it's in your 6th house, you're experiencing those misunderstandings in the work area. If it's in your 7th house, you're experiencing those areas within your partnerships. You're experiencing some miscommunications, some reconsiderations of who you're with, if you should be with them, if you should marry them or not. You're like, whoa, I thought I was gonna marry you, but nah, I don't know about this. Or man, you know, I thought you were the biggest jerk in the world. You know, I think we should try this though. Or, you know, this is where friends that were friends become more than friends. They become more than that by the end of the retrograde when you reconsider. Now, if an ex comes back, I remember this used to be like such a big topic for me that I was always obsessed with. What happens when your ex comes back? Should you take them back during the retrograde? I wanted to say no right away. You know, that's the Aries, maybe the Aries energy. I wanted to be like, no, don't do it. But reconsider, think about it. Really go over the past before you jump into it. Do not jump into just being with them. Oh, my ex is back. They're looking good. You know, I'm feeling hot. Let's just be together. Yeah, let's do it. Because at the end of that retrograde, you could regret it. Don't make these major decisions during the retrograde. That's all it's about. It's because this is a time for reflection, recollection. Okay, these are the things that you should be doing. Not starting a new romance with your ex, because you're starting something again with them. You are going back and reconsidering. Yes, there's something. Oh, this is when we look to the things that are old, that have already happened, that are already established. If you get a job offer, this is a job that you probably have already had. This is a job you already, had before. Then it's cool. But if it's a brand new gig, it's like, come on, man. Mercury ain't that clear. And sometimes even when you go back to something that was old, it's still, there's some things that you thought was nice, bright, and shiny about it. It's just not. And you're like, oh shoot, I didn't know coming back here, it's gotten worse. I thought it was better coming back to this job. So, I mean, this is where, or something that you already applied to. And, you've been in for an interview. Now it's the second interview. They're coming back to you. You're a part of their retrograde. They're like, I want to go back to that person that applied because they were just off the chain. Make sure you read the fine line. Make sure you read the print. Make sure your actions are just. All right, because at this time, right now we got Mars in Capricorn, but let's just say Mars isn't in Capricorn and it's just generally. You want to make sure if you go back to an old situation that you're seeing it clearly or through different eyes. So that's what Mercury does when it's in retrograde. It changes the view, how you see things, how you think and see things, and meditate them on the brain. So I hope this was a very excellent explanation of Mercury in retrograde for you. You can utilize this Mercury retrograde. You can get the best out of it, how you can flow with the energy. So I like to talk about flowing. All right. If you really like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube AstroDee5 page where you will get astrology updates. You will get lessons and tutorials and interviews and all this good stuff. And make sure you're following me on Instagram. If anything I said was crazy talking about astrology and the houses and stuff, check out my video ABCs of Astrology. If you want to know more about love and how it goes in astrology, make sure you check out my synastry videos that also talk about this as well. So have a lovely, enlightening, reinventing Mercury retrograde.